What's up, y'all? Peace, peace, peace to the family. Um, surfing the YouTube streets, and I had this idea. I'm like, I think the black nobility kind of started with Mansa Musa. And talk about frequency, this comes up. And shout out to Crip Jesus. He be getting to it. You mean, y'all go subscribe to Crip Jesus. Definitely a smart guy. You know what I mean? But let's check it out.
Conversation that I think is a fascinating one, the conversation of reparations, because it can be no doubt that something horrible happened to the black community and they're still suffering from it, especially in the Deep South. When you look at these places where the people who lived are.
They say, I know I'm shadow banned. I know he probably shadow banned. So when this important information come out, somebody do the research and come back with the knowledge, like you gotta pass that around. Everybody need to see it. You know what I mean? Educational purposes only, fair use. Shout out Crip Jesus, go subscribe.
Are the direct descendants of slaves.
Yeah.
And then these are the same impoverished neighborhoods that no one's ever done anything to try to fix.
Right.
So how do you fix it?
You first have to start with the subconscious mind and the black mind. The problem with the black mind is the fact that the black mind starts off with a defeatist mentality. From the day you're born, you're taught the white man's out to get you. So you start off with a boogeyman, and then you're taught that you're a slave, right? So when your subconscious mind believes that the beginnings of your race is a slave, how do you aspire to be more than that? So in order to correct the black community, you have to teach black history, or so-called black history, or what I would say African history, in chronological order. Before we were slaves, we were kings. So how do you have?
Now, right here, he says, before we were slaves, we were kings. Who is this we that he's talking about? Some people think that means all dark people, or the people of Africa, or us right here. But what I want you to understand is, I can't speak for everybody on the Caribbean islands, in Egypt, in Australia. But what I can say, and who I can speak for, is me right here in California. That brother right there, probably somewhere like New York, and all of us that have been attacked and occupied and invaded.
Yeah, California is just a super occult city. Down to the California.
Had our land dedicated to this U.S. corporation and given this in America. According to this myth, my people have no knowledge of their identity except for the color of their skin, black. Right? I lived the first 30 years of my life based on this lie. It was easy since all of my friends and family agreed. At some point, we had all been taught the same lie and accepted it as the truth. We didn't even question it. It was the 5% nation that taught me that the black man is God and his proper name is Allah. According to the school system, the term nigger is a curse word created by slave masters. According to the science of etymology, nigger, nigga, and naga are all the same word in different dialects. All of them derived from the original nigas, a royal title equivalent to king in East Africa. Its root is naga, which means serpent, as in the serpent people of Asia. And it goes on and on and on to break down the history, some of the biological science and geographical documentation and history of the so-called nigger. That people like to say this word just fell out the sky and some racist, masters created the word. Just like they like to say some racist masters brought us from Africa to here, as if we couldn't have brought ourselves. That's the conversation I want to have. Let's talk about
a whole entire nation of 40 some odd million black people, and majority of them never heard of Queen Angola, who never heard of the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire, you know, none of this stuff, right? King Mansa Musa. How do you raise a people's level of awareness about this stuff? And how do you elevate them to want to do things in life when they think they are a slave? That's the first thing that you have to do to help black people. You have to teach them who they are.
That expression, before they were slaves, they were kings. The problem with that is a king is a monarch, and a monarch is one person who controls giant groups of people. You can't have a bunch of kings. There's not a lot of kings. You can't have a nation of kings.
Correct. But that's very different from saying, you know, that we have the fact that the black mind starts off with a defeatist mentality. From the day you're born, you're taught.
Yeah, you got all them Game of Thrones bullshit going over there, Sultans and Joe Rogan's an agent.
They were kings. The problem with that is a king is a monarch, and a monarch is one person who controls giant groups of people. You can't have a bunch of kings. There's not a lot of kings. You can't have a nation of kings.
This is the divisive,
correct, but
slave
that's
master mentality of the people of Adam. See, you have to understand the Bible is being used to brainwash us, and the Quran has been tampered with to do the same thing. So in the way that the Bible is taught us to think, there's this imaginary group of people called the Jews who are God's chosen people, and they're related. They're the slaves of the ancient Egyptians, and God chose them and all this crap. But the truth is, God's direct descendants are the same people who ruled over these holy lands. And the people who we imported in as the slaves, the created people, the people of Adam, are the ones who twisted this story. So the way that he thinks, like there's this one ruler over, he doesn't understand the concept of king of kings. See? Let's go to chapter 8, page 62. It says, if history is his story, then mystery is mine.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that blue Bible, it got some shit. It got some good information in there, right? I know the crypt thing might throw a lot of people that's not familiar with that walk of life. You know what I mean? But outside of your fears and bias, that's a book. He wrote a book. I gotta give him credit for that.
My story. According to his story, the people of Adam are the people of Moses. According to my story, the people of Adam were the slaves of the people of Moses. The people of Adam, these people that they used to draw a picture of two white people in the jungle, say he's the first man and woman. This is their history. This is their science. This Bible version is their story. Adam and his people represent those people. The people of Adam claim to be the people of Moses. But when you look into the actual science, they are the slaves of the people of Moses. The title Moses was used by the rulers of Egypt's 18th dynasty. They are the Amarna dynasty, referred to as Ali Imran in the Quran. Their ancestor, Lord Amos' name was pronounced Amosis in Greek.
See what I'm saying? So this is why my train of thought kind of leads back through this Islamic kind of Moorish black nobility, right? Because think about, Moses and this guy right here, he got the Star of David tattooed on him. So, and I met a guy whose mom was Jewish and his dad was Muslim. And he used to always talk about the dynamics, and he just used to talk about that shit. So I learned a lot as far as how those two nationalities have a lot of similarities. You feel what I'm saying? So you see he got the Kufi, but he also got the Star of David. So hear me out. So if the Hebrews came through the covenant with God, was with Moses and Abraham and Noah, and that's the covenant Hebrew people, right? The descendants of. Somebody go do the research and find out, well, the Greeks translated that word Moses that we say in English, they translated it from Amos, right? And if you get into the research, Mansa Musa, right, had a brother named Suleiman. Sulayman. Suleiman, right? That salute. See how they got that AU and Saul? You know what I mean? It's Suleiman, right? That was Mansa Musa's brother. So when the Freemasons get deep in their shit, they throw the feds on, they get Muslim. You hear what I'm saying? The Templars come from the Order of Assassins along the Silk Road. But basically the Order of the Knights of Solomon, which had the Order of Assassins, which was Islamic, founded the Knights Templar. And that Templar kind of birthed Freemasonry kind of as we know it today with the what we call Illuminati and all that, you know, Jay-Z Hanson and shit. But you know, this guy, he did the research. You know what I mean? I got the theory, he did the research. So let's see what he say.
Before the Greek people translated his name, Moses was pronounced Musa. Yes, yes, yes. So when we get into the true science of who they are and who we are, we understand our government was completely different. We had a true form of democracy. There were many kings, and then above them was a king of kings. Let's go to page 27 of the Blue Bible. Niggas are God's children. We have a holy book written 3,000 years ago before the Bible and the Quran. It is named Kebra Nagas, which translates to Glory of the Kings. I first heard of it while reading Graham Hancock's Sign and the Seal, The Quest for the Lost Ark of the Covenant, published 1993. I finally read it while serving time at California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo. A blood from San Diego named Damu gave it to me. His parents were Rastas from Jamaica. Damu also taught me about Rastafarianism. The last man to be crowned Nigas Nagas, nigga of all niggas, was named Haile Selassie, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. He was the world's last him, His Imperial Majesty, Emperor of the Solomonic dynasty of Abyssinia, Ethiopia. So understand that we have forms of government that were different than the forms we think are, you know, the most sophisticated now. Just like we had technology that was different and more advanced than what we think is the most sophisticated now. But people like Joe Rogan don't know this. As much as we praise him, that doesn't mean that we don't need knowledge of self.
Fix.
Right.
So how do you fix it?
You first have to start with the subconscious mind and the black mind. The problem with the black mind is the fact that the black mind starts off with a defeatist mentality. From the day you're born, you're taught the white man's out to get you. So you start off with a boogeyman, and then you're taught that you're a slave.
But see, I'm gonna chime in right quick. That Haile Selassie, I you know, I'm gonna do the research, but I believe Haile Selassie was a Freemason, right? And you know, Rastafarianism, they use the Star of David, right? So it's kind of confusing how the Ethiopian that don't fuck with Jamaicans, right? You know, Ethiopians, so they definitely don't fuck with natives to America, black people, niggas, whatever you want to call us. They don't fuck with you. Like, we know that, right? And you don't see them mixing and mingling heavy with on Jamaica. They ain't flying, they ain't getting they Rastafarian brothers and sisters, right? Because the Ethiopian who they can get Orthodox Jewish. They don't believe they don't practice Rastafarianism. Haile Selassie was from Ethiopia, and they don't see him as what the Jamaicans see him as, right? But I gotta show y'all this video from, I think it's Kari Amaru. because he broke down. It's this dude name, I can't remember his name, but we're gonna find it. But let's get back into it. Was Mansa for the Black Illuminati, right? Because the people that they saying was native, you know, I think Crip Jesus saying from his research that they came from Mali. Let them cook.
Slave, right? So when your subconscious mind believes that the beginnings of your race is a slave, how do you aspire to be more than that? So in order to correct the Black community, you have to teach Black history, or so-called Black history, or what I would say African history, in chronological order. Before we were slaves, we were kings. So how do you have a whole entire nation of 40 some odd million Black people, and majority of them never heard of Queen Angola, who never heard of the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire, you know, none of this stuff, right? King Mansa Musa. How do you raise a people's level of awareness about this stuff? And how do you elevate them to want to do things in life when they think they are a slave? That's the first thing that you have to do to help Black people. You have to teach them who they are.
That expression, before they were slaves, they were kings. The problem with that is a king is a monarch, and a monarch is one person who controls giant groups of people. You can't have a bunch of kings. There's not a lot of kings. You can't have a nation of kings.
Correct. But that's very different from saying, you know, that we had 4 kings, right? Let's say there were just 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's better than saying Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and these free slaves.
Right.
Now he see how he said, let's say it was just 4. So this goes to prove why knowledge itself is so important. He can't even fully articulate his point. I can show you many of empires we had throughout not only just Africa, but throughout the world, where we had many kings, many kings. In his land, he can't fathom that. But even Europe had many kings. Look how small their so-called nations are.
Negative mindset. That's why there's a negative self-image, is because there's this great history of oppression.
Yeah. You know, when you think you are a slave, you can't operate outside of that.
And even if you don't think you're
I would even say that Europe had many kings, and the Pope operated as the emperor. Think about it. During the time of the Middle Ages, when the Christendom was forming, the Pope was above all the kings. This is why King Henry broke away and started, you know, Christianity separate from Catholicism.
Hannibal went through the Alps, which is a mission impossible, and he went all the way to the doors of Rome. And Rome said, "Yo, we ain't coming outside to fight you, bro."
when she was younger, that when she would see white people, she wouldn't look them in the eye. She would get nervous. She felt inferior being around them, wanted to get away. She didn't feel like she belonged.
Right. And that's a product of not knowing who you are, not knowing your own personal power. You know, when you look at the Second Punic Wars of Carthage, you had Hannibal went through the Alps, which is a mission impossible, and he went all the way to the doors of Rome. And Rome said, "Yo, we ain't coming outside to fight you, bro. We ain't coming." That's how strong the power for the army was. They said, "We don't want to fight." They knew if they came outside those gates, they would get their ass whooped. So how do you have a people that walk around not knowing that Hannibal Barca is a well studied war general? Today, the Pentagon still studies him, right? So how are you operating in America as a black person and not know who Hannibal Barca is?
Well, it's
You got to think about it. Hannibal, right? Muslim, Moloch, Allah, Moon. You know about Baal. You know, they say Yahweh was Baal, the storm desert god, right? Who Baal?
difficult, I think, for people that were born in America and all their known ancestors from America to even relate. Like my family is mostly from Italy and Sicily, and some of them from Ireland. I don't relate at all. I visit Italy in the summer times. I don't relate at all.
Right. So then the other psyop is the fact that we were the natives. We were not brought here on slave ships. That's not economically sound.
What do you mean?
Sense. So when Christopher Columbus got here, Christopher Columbus got to the Caribbean, according to the primary source,
Right.
they basically said the first thing he did was take slaves. He didn't bring slaves. He took slaves from the island. He captured people. So when you have colonization, you got to remember, the United States was only built 13 colonies at first, right? You think this whole land was empty? No, there were natives here.
Right.
But today we're taught that natives.
Now, let's break that down. Let's break that down. See, to just say that is moving too fast. So, Columbus, let's go to. Well, another thing about the Blue Bible is you got the index and the map in the back. So you got to love that. So let's just go to Columbus in the index and see where it tells us to go. Page 19.
Trying to figure it out, man.
What you'll get right here at page 19 is.
And see, this the thing. Like, look how he spelled Mansa, right? So what did the slave call the troglodyte? Massa. You see what I'm saying? Then you got Mali. Take the M off Mali, it's Ali. So it's telling you it's Islamic, right? But they gonna get into like the Gullah Geechee. Remember I was saying that Carolina got the crescent moon, the Gullah, Allah, right? We broke down the Gullah Geechee Islamic, but they was also doing witchcraft, hoodoo. They had their own brand of hoodoo, to be exact. So, you know, me, I'm digging till I find the truth, right? And some people done dug before me, some people done dug deeper. So let's see what he came up with.
According to BPSN, the red flag is the flag of Morocco. The U.S. government teaches its citizens to fear red flags because Morocco was its first enemy. The people labeled Negro in 1740, the Negro Act of 1740, were Moroccans that settled in North America before Columbus reached Haiti. They're referred to as ancient Berbers in Section 4 of the Negro Law of South Carolina. Facts. So in the Negro Law of South Carolina, the people who were here when the English first arrived are defined, because the English did not first arrive on the Plymouth Rock. It was not, what's the other story they tell, 1620 Virginia? No. Like I tell people, let's go to the Blue Bible. It's right here.
That Blue Bible, man.
It's right here in the Blue Bible. Chapter 10.
Blue Bible.
Here we go. Page 85. Well, actually, we go back a little bit before that. Page 85. The first English settlement in North America was not Jamestown. The English first attempted to settle in North Carolina in 1587. Their leader, John White, left for supplies and returned to an empty colony. All he found were skeletons. Then remember I said before that, because that's dealing with the English, the Spanish first learned of our civilization up here in North America, 1521. When they kidnapped Francisco de Chicor, they took Francisco de Chicor from here to Europe. Remember, he said when Columbus first came, there were people here. He took people from here. Who teaches the same thing as I break down the Blue Bible? Empress Verdiachi, our empress of this land.
Mind you, this was crazy. Joe Rogan talking about he Italian. Christopher Columbus was like Rome, Italian-ish. And I've heard scholars say that he showed up with Moors on the Pinta, Maria, and the whatever, Santa, whatever, because, you know, the Moors took over Spain. So when he showed up with the Penta and the Santa and all that bullshit, it was like he had Moors with him.
Not the fake, the real.
The real Black Illuminati.
She declared that the government, the U.S. government, owes our people the blood of the original people here, the melanated original people here that have been coming back and forth from Europe, Asia, Africa, and all that, and had already had rights over the lands here. She said they owe us, what is it, quadrillions of dollars.
See, this is a reparations conversation, right? Or they like to say, well, who should get it and what should. So if you had, see, this is where they gonna get tricky with. If you had black slaves, then you shouldn't get reparations. But everybody think that everybody here was just a slave. So we got to really do the research and figure out what the fuck happened.
This is after she went to court for this. This is not something I'm just making. Matter of fact, just in case y'all don't believe me, let me show y'all.
50 took 9 bullets. Everybody call that gangster. Man, Jesus laid in a tomb for 3 days and he rose again. Ah, no, that's gangster.
I got that big Bible.
Yeah, so as we see right here, here goes a lawsuit between the heirs of Henry Turner and the United States. Now you may be saying, who are the heirs of Henry Turner? What does that got to do with anything? Well, it's in the Blue Bible. Oh, yes, it is. I don't know if you paid attention, but it was right there.
Hey, man, I'm going to go ahead and say, man, y'all need to buy that Blue Bible. I think it's like $20. But, you know, I've been watching Crip Jesus for a while. And, yeah, that Blue Bible worth the $20 damn dollars. Like, y'all go get that Blue Bible, man. Somebody get it and do a review on it. You know what I mean? Let me know what it's hitting on. I've been thinking about getting it, you know what I mean? But I got so much going on, you know, when I got time, I might just get it and do the damn review. You know what I mean? The Blue Bible.
And what you got to understand is, not only is it right there, but it's right there to give you a certain science. Now, with that being said, as you can see right here, this is the mother of the man known as Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, he and his father was Quitman Drew, and they were, but through her he was a Turner of the Tunica tribe, who were also part of the Washita, the original people of North America. So they are now known as the Choctaw. Right? It gets deep like that. So let's go to page 100 of the Blue Bible. It says right here, his story attempts to erase the legacy of the Washita by calling their kings and nations chiefs and tribes. The name itself was replaced with the surnames Washington and the title Choctaw.
So see, a lot of people be thinking these. I heard that cats are not. Some of them niggas ain't got no culture. You know, talking about your last name Johnson and Jackson and Williams, right? You might have thought, you know, Washington and all that was George Washington. Stop it. You see what I'm saying? You do the research and find out, you know, some of these last names not what you think they are. They're not just all European.
The United States teaches that its first president, George Washington, gave the name to our ancestors by way of slavery. This is a dangerous lie used to detach the original people from their own land. We are denied our birthrights by way of this sort of technology and paper genocide. You understand what I'm saying? So I can take it a step further and really show you how in the book, Return of the Ancient Ones, by the Empress Verdiachi, she actually describes herself, you know, what she read in Columbus Sea Logs. So it says, what in the world is that skating across that water? A big fish, a skiff, or what? That must have been the question. Mean black. Man, black. Where are we? Back in Africa? That must have been their reply. Our imaginations can play with us on the reactions in 1492 AD. The real truth is in Columbus Sea Law. So before I sit here and read just all of this, she goes on to describe that it was a fully dark-skinned, navigation team, as far as, who led them there.
So you heard what she said? Let's say I run through it right quick. Return of Ancient One, king who was black did not come to a common ship. Admiral, he bade Columbus to come in. The city was a factor that made cloth from cotton. They gave the hungry sailors food, see facts from his log. Why did history lie? It was his story, and he told the story as he wanted reading the public to believe it. A lie goes and runs a long time, according to folklore. Finally, the truth, the truth. Well, awaken history taught our children black and white. Truth was left out because, okay, let's look. A whitewash lie. There was a statement, little white lies came from history, his lie, okay? Discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. Discovery is filled full of lies. If you would try to eliminate some of the lies, there would be no discovery to read about. The link have been out the chain. The white man's lie, his story, white woman not right now. Columbus was not a stranger to black men. He was from Spain and got his knowledge of the sea from black men. The black Moors had ruled Spain for 900 years prior to 1492. The admiral of the lead ship was Pietro El Negrito, or Mr. Pete, Black Pete. Black Pete the Moor. I told y'all, Black Pete the Moor. The Niger, as he was called. Even then, this is the reason why the word does not rock my boat. Even a stupid person would know that a little slick boy named Diego did not navigate the ship. You know what I mean? He was undernourished. He had no mother, forever on the go, half starved, looking for someone to take the voyage. And look who took it with him, the Moors.
It was a king present with the government when they got here, and they were dark. What they describe as black. But the word black is being used to strip away their reality. You understand what I'm saying? And the real reality is that this title, everything about them is being stripped away in order to fulfill an agreement between Thomas Jefferson and Napoleon. This is where the Masonic secret comes in. So we go to page 48 of the Blue Bible, you'll see. It says, in 1798, the French general Napoleon shot the nose off the Sphinx in Egypt during the Battle of the Pyramids. This represented the freeing of the slave people through the American Revolution and French Revolution. Before the revolutions, the people we now call white were slaves. In 1801, U.S. President Jefferson refused to pay his landlord, Yusuf Karman. As a result, the U.S. Barbary Wars began. That same year, Napoleon refused to recognize the sovereignty of the people of Haiti after the French Revolution.
Now, mind you, there was a Moroccan treaty signed with the U.S. after the Barbary Wars. Where the fuck is the treaty? I don't see nobody. You dig? Then you got the fake Native Americans on reservations getting a check. Like, what the fuck is going on here, right? And this is what we trying to figure out.
As a result, Napoleon's soldiers were forced out of America in 1803. To retaliate, Jefferson and Napoleon orchestrated a deal known as the Louisiana Purchase. Not only was the deal illegal, it was a scam. The people of Louisiana Territory were free after the revolution. Still, Napoleon refused to recognize and honor their status as landlords. At the same time, he was stealing private lands he did not have the rights to. In the years of Henry Turner versus the United States court case, it is showed and proved that Napoleon did not sell all of Louisiana to Thomas Jefferson. Instead, what he sold him was a $15 million bond. He did not truly sell the land. It was proven in the lawsuit, what I just showed y'all.
But that's my thing. Then why the Moors ain't taking these people to war? Why they ain't the main one going against the Anglo-Saxon Empire, right? Like, I mean, you a gangster. You a Moor. You done been to jail. You done bust that ratchet. You done did that dirt, right? But if you done did the research and know the motherfuckers y'all was working with is now running the show and y'all ain't running the show with them, don't you dare put that pistol on another black man. Don't you dare rock. Like, all your efforts and energy should be, it's your responsibility. Do you see what I'm saying? The lady just said the motherfucker wasn't even capable enough to get over here, right? And we probably wouldn't have had the falling out if it wasn't for the Creek and the Cherokee, whatever war that was. You know what I mean? Like what's going on here? Maybe he could break it down. Let's get to it. No, nah. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing
Peace is divine. Refused to pay his landlord, Yusuf Karman. As a result, the U.S. Barbary Wars began. That same year, Napoleon refused to recognize the sovereignty of the people of Haiti after the French Revolution. As a result, Napoleon's soldiers, that's how she was able to, get the power that she was able to get us recognized.
How the currents go. You don't need no paddle boat or nothing.
That's how she was able to, get the power that she was able to get us recognized. This ain't the fake. This is the real.
The real Black Illuminati.
So when you really get down to the true science, you understand that this is going on right here under our nose. We're accepting the lies. The truth is being spread day to day. These fights are going down in courtrooms. These discussions are taking place on major podcasts. Are we tuning in? Are we paying attention? Are we accepting the truth?
Just some other people. No, natives are the melanated African being that has come here since the beginning of the Mali Empire. We're talking about.
Stop. Whoa. We getting somewhere. Let's go back. Did you catch that?
Accepting the truth?
Just some other people. No, natives are the melanated African being that has come here since the beginning of the Mali Empire. We're talking.
So the native is the African from the Mali Empire. How is that possible? Mansa Musa was the richest mob ever. He got the bread to fly you out. Right? Let's go.
Talking about 14th, 13th century. We had already come here from Africa.
Really?
Oh,
heavy. We getting to it now. We getting to it.
Yeah. We had already come here
to the United States or to
this landmass. This landmass we call the United States. So the way the ocean current works is it works from Africa, leaves out of West Africa, comes to South America and the Caribbean. That's just how the currents go. You don't need no paddle boat or nothing. It'll just currents to take you there.
Make it make sense. So make it make sense. All the Aboriginals out there, I ain't from Africa. Look at my Native American statue, right? Let's see, when did they come?
And then you travel up. But we had already been here. All you got to do is look up the story of Sarah Rector. Sarah Rector is a wealthy, so-called Native American. I think she was a Choctaw tribe or one of these tribes, but she was wealthy. And she wanted a VI pass to go somewhere. And they had her classified as a free person, Why don't we know about the wealthy so-called black people in America? Why don't we know that there were black slave owners in America? Why is that not true?
Sarah Rector.
No. You're not gonna blow past that, right? So listen now. Islam enslaved you first, black man. Hello. Islam enslaved you before the cracker. Factual, actual. Islam enslaved Africans before the cracker. Now you got the research brother saying they was already here when the Mali Empire was cracking. He gave the year, but I ain't catch it. I don't be good with the year and the math, but was that before Native Americans and the ones that look like Alaskans that came down to burn all that? Like, somebody need to give me some good research. Let's go.
It's not only,
but what I'm saying they can't fly past is that they had slaves. That's what I'm getting to. So you saying that the natives here had slaves? So was Mansa Musa? This why it's the black nobility. This why it's the boule. This why it's the secret societies. Was Mansa Musa about racial recognition and liberation and shit like that? Or was he about money and power? And I don't care if you look like me. Put this chain around your neck. Go get in line. I need $1. I don't care if you the same ethnic. I don't care about that. This is Islam. Fuck you talking about?
A true story, but you can just as simple as Google her. Don't believe me? Let me show you. Oh yeah, it's really right under our noses. At this point, the problem is not that the truth is not out there, it's that we're being distracted all day, every day. There you have it, Sarah Rector.
All right, hold on. Let's. You know, I don't got much time today, but I got a couple minutes. It say you a huge liar. This is Sassy Queen. The most ancient images of Mansa Musa, period. Also, he was white. This idiot you are listening to are just dumb Negroid revolutionists, nothing more. Okay. You know, you could tell you must be angry because your grandma a little off, but you saying Mansa Musa was white. Mali Empire? Like what? Most of the troglodytes want to be Jewish. They don't want to be Muslim. I can't even think of 3 Bigfoot Muslims. Most Muslims either, Pakistani or Iraq, Buddha, shit like that. Like, you don't see too many crackers Muslim. And Mansa Musa was Muslim. You look at all this, at least we can agree he was Muslim. Everybody had on a fucking turban. I can't think of 2-3 crackers in a turban on top of my head. Or, hey, Sassy Queen, do the research, present it, drop the vid. You dig? Put the information out there. Or teach us in the comments what the fuck is going on if this research is wrong. You saying Crip Jesus research is wrong.
Wealthy young sister, so-called Native American, documented down as Negro. This land belongs to us. At this point, what we're doing is we're moving into these cities because they were terrorizing our lands. You understand what I'm saying? They were terrorizing our lands down in the South, in the North, all over. And we're being put the same way they gentrified us when we got to the hoods and we got to the cities and created hoods. This has been going on. They're moving like parasites. And they're winning because we don't believe that this is our land. Once we realize this is our land and get back to eating off the land, living off the land, investing into the land, reconnecting not only here, but also back, like he said, with the Mali Empire, West Africa, connecting back with the trade. Okay, so let's go to the Blue Bible. The word Geechee is short for Geechee, Ogeechee River in Georgia. That is where we settled in North America. We joined the Mississippian civilization that built cities called chieftains and pyramids called mounds in North America. The Christians first learned of our civilization after kidnapping Francisco de Chicora in 1521. His last name was a translation of the true name Shakur. Other variations of his family name are Shakur and Al-Shakur. The first English settlement in North America was not Jamestown. The English first attempted to settle in North Carolina in 1587. Their leader, John White, left for supplies and returned to an empty colony. All he found were skeletons. In 1622, we organized the Jamestown Massacre. We murdered about 400 pilgrims and would have been more if a snitch didn't warn them. In 1715, we organized a massacre in South Carolina that turned into an all-out jihad known as the Yamasee War. It lasted until our largest nations, the Cherokee and the Creek, fell into a civil war called the Tougaloo Massacre. The families captured during all of these Indian wars became part of the Indian slave trade. They were shipped out of North America to Europe and Africa. They were also mixed with others imported into the country. The Pilgrims' captives did not accept slavery. They freed themselves in a series of battles called the Gullah Wars. The wars began in 1739 when 20 rebels broke into a gun shop, stole weapons, and murdered the shopkeepers. The murderers were part of a nation collectively known as the Gullah Geechee. Our territory, Florida. We were best known for murdering plantation owners and smuggling their slaves down to Florida, where they joined our nations, such as the Seminoles, or migrated west to Louisiana and New France. So these Seminoles, those are the ones that stayed in the East and fought. And now I'm going to show you that I don't make any of this up. You don't got to keep watching it. No disrespect. You don't got to keep watching all this, spiritual and Bobby Hemmett and talking about the ancestors. When them devils came in there to take over us and enslaved us before, did we wait on the ancestors or did we rise up? You can't remember because you just think you've been enslaved the whole time or an Indian the whole time. You've lost your connection to the Mali Empire, the Songhai, the warriors, the fighters, the rulers of the Atlantic Ocean. So let me show y'all John Horse, a very famous Seminole, famous so-called Negro, huh? Tap into the Blue Bible, man. Get this for your nephew, your niece, your grandma, your uncle. This is the truth that's not being told, even by our so-called Black power leaders, our so-called Moorish Asiatic leaders. They're not talking about this part. Why are they leaving this out? Why are they leaving this out? Why are they leaving this out? Okay. All right. John Horse. So yeah, I'm coming with another book real soon because I didn't realize how much information we were missing. So John Horse, very popular, very famous as far as amongst historians of the Seminoles. Obvious Moorish brother. Look at where Florida was at. Look where Florida is. So you have all this, the Spanish were there already. Don't forget that the Spanish were us, the Moors, who a lot of us had converted to Catholicism. Doesn't mean just because you convert to Catholicism, all of a sudden your DNA changes. So just because your DNA goes to Nigeria or Ghana or Senegal or Sierra Leone or Gambia or Benin and Togo or Niger or Mali, it doesn't disconnect you from this history, because this is the his story. And I'm telling
Okay, we got the Arabs were Muslim. Muhammad was a red-haired, blue-eyed white man. How you gonna live under the sun in the desert over there where Muhammad supposed to walk? You gonna peel like a, what you gonna peel like? It's gonna peel like a croissant in the air fryer. You're gonna flake and inflame. You're not gonna be a white man under that sun. You're gonna end up fire red, scorching red under that sun. I'm talking 98 degrees, 100 degrees every day in the desert. No shade, no sunblock. We're talking back in. If that's the case, Lord Queen, you need to present the research. Don't be in here with all the exclamation points and getting your bias off, dropping your nuts. Do the research and present it. Then you can keep your exclamation points. You could cite sources and research and artifacts, something. You dig? Then you could put a capital S on the sassy. Right now it's lowercase sass. You dig? It's lowercase. Okay, what mama say? What she say? Sorry, all of the North African and Mediterranean Sea was covered in white people and light. You're okay, you're a bot. Right? Like, how you gonna live under, so North Africa is desert, right? The whole Northeast Africa is desert. The Ethiopian, remember the old joke, feed a kid, the Ethiopian. How was y'all gonna live out there and that sizzle like sausage on the pan? Have you seen? Hold on. So y'all playing. Where we at in Crip Jesus? We had the 40-minute mark of old Crip Jesus. We need to see some examples of sunburn. Okay. Like, this is here in America. Look at his face. You think he from Middle East? Look at baby boy, skin bubbling up. Are you fucking? Let me relax, bro. Like, you from the Middle East though. You gonna real life cook like a goddamn souffle mignon, but this is your original. Look at this. The man is pit. Look at that. Good God Almighty. Let's see what really causes sunburn.
I sunburn super easily. It just takes a few minutes sitting in my garden or on a beach. And
do we even got to go? Look at this motherfucker. She said I sunburn instantly. Now we lived here 1,000 years, and we developed the resistance. Let's get back to Master Musa. Oh Lord, the white Berbers of Morocco wow. I'm gonna put you up there. I want the world. I want the world to know, so they can log into your shit quick. You said the white Berbers of Morocco are indigenous. So if you want to take claim to that, you do know they also troglodytes, right? The white Berbers of Morocco living in the actual factual cave on the side of the mountain, cold-blooded troglodyte. So type that. I want you to say the white Berbers of Morocco are the troglodytes. Give it to me raw and uncut. Right? Now, how the fuck is science not proof? right? Science meaning if I leave a goddamn apple in the middle of the street in Arizona for a generation, if I leave it in the fucking street for a week, no, it's like, what are you saying? Like that the evidence is show if you leave the apple out too long, it's going to turn into something different than its original state. That goddamn Neanderthal said I sunburned within minutes. Sade, that's not true. What's not true? She said it. I'm not saying it. Do you know? Let's go back. Let's go back.
Gross science.
Oh, it's Anna Rothschild.
Most I sunburn super easily. Just
Pause.
super easily. It just takes a few minutes sitting in my garden or on a beach.
A few minutes. This is science. This bitch say science.
And then a couple days later, my skin starts peeling off. It's seriously
This is gross science. You want to keep
pretty
going?
gross. Not exactly the effect.
It's pretty gross. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't here to talk about everyone. Right. I said you are the troglodyte. You. Right? You. Don't say everyone. I want you to say that the white. What'd you say? Let's go back. What'd you say? The white Berbers. I want you to say the white Berbers of Morocco are troglodytes in the cave. I mean, I'll pull up the picture. Let's pull up the picture. See, you getting me off course, but we're gonna stay on code. You want the smoke, you're gonna get the smoke. Let's see. Berber troglodyte. Right? Look, you a cold-blooded caveman. Look, this you coming out the cave. This the Berber. This Morocco. There go the cave. Right? Like, am I tripping? Look. Say mountain. Look. You want to go in the cave? You take credit for the cave. You see it say Berber cave homes, right? Desert Africa. This is Nadia. She wanted to go home to the cave, right? She wanted to go home. We know the caveman is the troglodyte. Nadia wanted to go home. I want you to go home. Let's talk about it. Yeah, we in the cave. You want to go in another cave? Let's go in another cave. Look. Yeah, talk that North Morocco shit when the caveman come out. Look at that shit. Underground. Troglodyte. This is
Matmata, troglodyte houses in Tunisia. Matmata Cave Town, a town of caves located along small Berber-speaking town in southern Tunisia.
Look at them. He don't look. That's Tunisia, North Africa. He don't look too white. So look at that. Right? We getting into the witchcraft. You want to talk witchcraft next? Look, Tunisia, the home of the troglodyte cave. Berber troglodyte. Let's go back. Where's she at? The white Berbers. Oh, you still saying shit? What'd you say? What'd you say? She did not say that she is not dead. Okay, I don't know what you got going on there. You just being sassy. No, as there are not just one type of people: Neanderthals, Denovesians, Pygmies, Cro-Magnon. You do not seem to know very much at all. I know you a Neanderthal Cro-Magnon, which is the caveman, which is the troglodyte, which is the no melanin, right? I do know that. I know you're the Neanderthal. Do we? I know you the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. I know that. Right? What else you said? Oh wait, I left off Homo erectus. Yeah, I got your Homo erectus right here, baby girl. Troglodyte. I'm gonna let you stay in the cave too. I ain't even gonna kick you out. You can stay in the
And I'm
cave.
telling you the mystery, my story, our story. That part. Let's go to chapter 8, page 62. It says, if history is his story, then mystery is my story. According to his story.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I know I said I was gonna leave the little troglodyte monkey alone, but ho. You said I don't know much, right? Hold on. You said I don't know much, right? You do not seem to know very much at all, right? You're in the middle of me doing research. You're in the middle. Like I'm literally doing research to find out what I don't know. And then hoof in your mouth and say you don't understand that people tan outside daily. Lord, help the child. I hope they roast you in the comment. I hope they go to your page and see what you present your shit. That's my whole thing. Present the evidence and research. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to present the fucking research. Go to your page, print the research, present the research, and then you could be as sassy as you want. But that's why you know that's why you got that lowercase s. It ain't big sass. You just a little sassy with the overinflated ego with the capital Q. Troglodytes.
The people of Adam are the people of Moses. According to my story, the people of Adam were the slaves of the people of Moses. The people of Adam, these people that they used to draw a picture of two white people in the jungle, say he's the first man and woman. This is their history. This is their science. This Bible version is their story. Adam and his people represent those people. The people of Adam.
He talking about you, sassy queen. When he say Adam and those, he talking about you. I don't want you to, you can argue his point, but he talking about you, sassy queen. You the you the Adam and Eve you talking about with all the inbreeding. You Adam and Noah. I mean Cain and Abel, and it wasn't nothing but that. Like so, that's you.
Adam claimed to be the people of Moses. But when you look into the actual science, they are the slaves of the people of Moses. The title Moses was used by the rulers of Egypt's 18th dynasty. They are the Amarna dynasty, referred to as Ali Imran in the Quran. Their ancestor, Lord Amos' name was pronounced Amosis in Greek. Before the Greek people translated his name, Moses was pronounced Musa. Come on, pronounced Musa, how it's still pronounced today in Arabic or in the Quran. I'm not here to praise the Muslims and say they're the best. I'm here to give you the true history. They invaded that history as well, but that didn't mean they took it away or can hide it. There's a reason the Arabs stay focused on Saudi Arabia all day. There's a reason the Arabs don't want to tell you about the bloodlines, the real Sharif, the real true descendants of the prophets who ruled over Northeast Africa and Northwest Africa. There's a reason why you got to get the Blue Bible and get the full breakdown of the difference between the Saracens and the descendants of the Ishmaelites. There's a reason for all of this, that this is happening in California. A man from California is exposing you to John Horst and Sarah Rector and showing you how this connects to not a religion of Islam, to a hidden history. Okay? So with that being said, what brought this conversation up? Does that mean slavery didn't happen? No. That means that we were not slaves. Some of us got caught up in some of these wars. Which wars? They're documented right here in the Blue Bible. Some of us got caught up in some of the invasions, right? So let's keep going with the Blue Bible. Where were we on? Page 85, right? No. We left off on page 86. Hold on. Page 86. Before the Louisiana Purchase, the new French Empire stretched from Canada down to Haiti. After the French Revolution, all of the Creole people were free. Napoleon Bonaparte attempted to enforce racial laws and put us into slavery, but we resisted. We, the Creole people. I used to believe that lie that Creole meant light skin or mixed. It has nothing to do with that. It's those of the Spanish Empire and the French Empire who were born over here and not born in Europe. Criollo, Criolla in Spanish, Creole, French. And this includes many of the people and many of the mixed people. But it for sure includes our people. And this is the paper genocide and the ignorance that's used to make us enslave our own identity within our own mind.
That might be the reason for Crayola. Notice how he was saying it was a bunch of different people, right? The Creole, the Creola, Crayola, different people, colors. See, Sassy Queen.
Same thing.
See, Sassy Queen, if you was on your research, you could have brought that up before. He could have been like, the Creole, and it was different. That you could have segued in with the Creole shit, but you don't even know nothing about that.
I'm Creole, but didn't believe I'm dark skinned, so I don't know. I guess I'm slave Creole, whatever that means. Eugenics. The Creole people of Haiti murdered all of Napoleon's soldiers. They did not accept his laws. There was no need for civil rights. Their rights were based on nationality and religion like all other nations. Poor families rushed to America thirsty to help the government steal our gold, our names, and our lands. After being forced west during the Trail of Tears, we were followed.
Hold on. Stop the show. See, this is how you know you just being sassy, right? The man is doing research. I'm presenting his research, so you just off point on that. Then you saying motherfuckers ignorant for believing in the Bible, and this man is Muslim. Are you retarded? Lord have mercy. You don't see the kufi on his head? You don't understand that this is Islamic, and you talking about the Bible? When he telling you the Bible is his story, but you so caught up in being sassy, right, and not intelligent that you saying, you ignorant for believing in the Bible. When he speaking against the Bible is trash. He's Muslim. It's a cryptic book your basic layman will never understand. This includes you. Where do y'all find who made this queen? Who's the king that made this queen? Who is the king that made this queen? King Kong? Lord have mercy. Let's get back to actual research.
Followed by immigrants looking for gold. There was the gold rush of North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and California. This phenomenon began in West Africa. Europeans learned of the wealthiest man to ever live after his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. His name was Mansa Musa, Sultan of the ancient Mali Empire. He circulated so much gold in Egypt that it couldn't be traded.
See how he said Sultan? Right? So Mansa Musa was a sultan. Right? He was Muslim.
After he left, the inflation lasted 12 years and he became famous. The source of his wealth was Mali's trade with the Americas. This was a mystery to the masses who, for the most part, did not have access to such sacred.
Okay. Okay. So now you saying Islam is trash. Okay, cool. Right? You said it twice. Okay, Islam is trash, right? So what is your doctrine? You can't be Gnostic because that's knowledge. So if you had the knowledge, you'd kind of have a different approach. So you're not Gnostic. Obviously, you're not Christian. Obviously, you're not Muslim, right? Are you atheist? Right? Give me something educated opposed to emotional. Can you do that, or are you just stuck in sassy? Right? Because I mean, like, I could be the asshole guy and just only say asshole things, and it'd be like, maybe you should go kick it where people appreciate asshole things. Right? This is more of a intellectual thing. So give me something intellectual opposed to emotional, or you just gonna live up to the name as Sassy Princess? Because I don't see nothing queen. It ain't really queenly. It's not giving queen. It's giving baby girl, whining and crying. You better crack a book. You better open that Google. And if you already have, kick it to me like that. Don't whine and cry with the exclamation point. Give me the facts and the data and the math on why it's trash. Give me a paragraph. Type that paragraph. Give me something to chew on, not these little, this is the big kids table. We ain't gotta do little short sentences and insults. Give me something to chew on.
Knowledge in those days. According to the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 45, verse 5 through 6, there were Moorish empires in the Americas in those times. That part. Okay. It gets that deep. Wait, hold on. What is going on here?
Why is it not so?
How many black slave owners were there?
Man, the natives here had slaves. They were trading slaves with the so-called white man.
Well, they definitely did that. Natives enslaved people of other tribes.
Right. So if those people are us, the so-called black man, if those natives were us, then we have to tell that history and say how we did have territories and we did, carry out commerce, and we weren't slaves. We were slave owners.
Right, but the majority of African Americans that lived here were brought over here.
No,
that's
not economically sound.
What do you mean by it's not economically sound? Like there were slave ships, right?
All right, let's say you wanted to have you wanted to sell marijuana, right?
Right.
Would you import marijuana, or would you grow it here if it's already here?
Well, it depends on whether or not marijuana grew here.
Well, can you grow marijuana here?
You can, but we're just talking about marijuana. Like, what if we're talking about something that you can't grow here?
So what I'm saying is, people were already here. Does it make sense to go all the way to this other continent to bring people on the boat when we know that half of your stock is going to die? You wouldn't do that.
So how many people do you think were brought over from Africa on slave ships? Because that definitely happened.
I don't believe it.
What do you mean you don't believe it?
I don't believe that story.
You don't believe that Africans were brought over on slave ships?
Correct. I believe it may have happened. Maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First, they got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west little by little, conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POWs.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. That's what you do.
POWs, as I just explained in the Blue Bible. Let's go back to that part again. Okay. In 1715, we organized a massacre in South Carolina that turned into an all-out jihad known as the Yamasee War. It lasted until our largest nations, the Cherokee and the Creek, fell into a civil war, the Tougaloo Massacre. The families captured during all of these Indian wars were part of the Indian slave trade. They were shipped out of North America to Europe and Africa. They were also mixed with others imported into the country. So these POWs that he's talking about, okay, they are part of a collective of people who were already present in North America when the Europeans arrived. And here goes one of the first ever slave owners, Anthony Johnson, who was a quote unquote black man. See, if this brother just had a little bit more information, he would blow Joe Rogan's mind away, because he's sure trying to act like, well, I'm not even gonna say he's acting. I don't think Joe Rogan knows this. A lot of our people don't know this. A lot of their people don't know this. This is very hidden information. This you gotta dive deep for this. You gotta go in the dumpsters, you know what I mean, in the back, and go diving for this. That's why I had to make the Blue Bible. That's why we're gonna come, with Hell on Earth next and go even deeper. But yeah, okay. So the way that this goes is they're gonna come with the Christian narrative, which is they would even remix the Bible and say, oh, the ancient Egyptian pharaohs were white, the people that the Hebrews they were serving them were white. You get what I'm saying? They'll just make you invisible, basically. This is the mind game of the devil, to make it like you never existed. You have no position in anything. Just be quiet.
So after you conquer this tribe, you make them slaves. Now, how do you conquer the natives here? So let's say you got this tribe is warring against this tribe. Well, this tribe goes talk to the white man. White man says, yo, if you help me wipe out these people, then boom, I'll help you with whatever. So they get together and they wipe out this other tribe. Now, guess what? The white man now outnumbers this tribe. So he wipes them out. You just kill two birds with one stone. You just keep moving like that.
But I'm still confused. There's a great history of slave ships being brought over from Africa with Africans that became slaves and worked in the South. Do you think that's lies?
History is his story.
Right.
What about my story? Is my story not valid?
But if you do 23andMe on someone from these parts of the country, you'll find out that
23andMe.
Well, that's real. So what is 23andMe?
So when I take a 23andMe test, right?
Yes.
What's it going to tell me about Africa?
That's a good question. We should find out.
It's not going to tell you anything about Africa. It may match you with some areas, but the narrative they're going to give you with that is going to be false anyway. And here's the sad part about it. If you go based on what the Blue Bible breaks down, go to page 60. Go to page 60 of the Blue Bible, and what it's going to tell you about these blood tests and the narrative that's given to you by them. So it is no coincidence. Okay, look, the story of a poor slave people being freed by Abraham Lincoln is a lie. The United States President Abraham Lincoln created the 13th Amendment, which made slavery legal as a punishment for crime. That was the birth of slavery in America. Today, there are more people in prisons and other detention facilities than there ever were on plantations. As a fact, prior to that, they were warring over slavery. It wasn't legal. It was a black market that they still do, human trafficking. It is no coincidence that the courts, police, judges, and detention centers are all racist. They were designed to be. The FBI and CIA recruit heavily from the Mormon church. They all believe in the racist concept of manifest destiny, which is a teaching that a white Jesus promised the lands of North America to a white people. Therefore, other people do not belong there. This lie is the foundation of American identity. The Mormon church controls Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org. That means the FBI and CIA control them, and they are not to be trusted. Of course, they love to hide this truth. For further investigation, I reference Sylvester Johnston's The FBI and Religion, Faith and National Security Before and After 9/11. And there's other parts in here that break down the connection. Now, that's not necessarily 23andMe, but that was started later to kind of more, shield what's going on here. But the people behind these blood tests are the same people sitting in Utah holding all the records of who and what we truly are and purposely hiding it. Yes. Not conspiracy theory, conspiracy fact. All right? Because this ain't the fake. You know what this is. It's the real.
The real Black Illuminati.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so cozy.
Don't judge me by my actions, judge me by my intentions. I'm really all I envision, in flesh in the air, suspended in mid-air.
Even how the earth is shaped and how it all goes together. What's up, bro? Is if you know the history, you'll know that all matches together. That don't match with our history, our story. So, Angola and South America and the Caribbeans, and then even when they, kind of went up towards Senegal, now those are all near each other. They're all part of that same triangle. You understand what I'm saying? So now let's get to the real.
The real Black Illuminati.
So let's talk about the creation of the Negro of North America. Let's break that down. What's up, Cuzzo? Tantrum in the building here. What's up with you, Brody? Cuareza Vega, Harold Corlander, and Roots got us deceived about the slave trade. But I'll say this, though. In the movie Roots, remember he says his name is Kunta Kinte? And that does go, if you look in the Blue Bible, to the Conte Quieta dynasty, who are descendants of Belial. And remember in the Roots movie, there's a part where he says Salam Alaikum. So he put stuff in there. I think it's the way that we've been taught. That's more how we got deceived. It's the way that we see it. So even when you seeing yourself, you don't realize what you're seeing. But let me go to 111 to 113, right? So let me see. The so-called Negro population was taught this fear on breeding farms east of the Mississippi River. These farms were controlled by Freemasons who used eugenics, pedophilia, and zoophilia to splice the genes of the gods. Their goal is to corrupt the original man's genetic coding and create a beast-like nature. The nations ruled by Caucasians practice bestiality and zoophilia. Within their interactions and environments, they spread the DNA of the beasts they eat, handle, love, and cohabitate with amongst us. That in itself is splicing. Their goal is to use the media to pressure our children to splice their own genes with all of their isms. In 1740, the government passed the Negro Act, which gave its black population the titles Negro, Colored, and African. This was a response to the Stono Rebellion of 1739. Those of us who resisted and rejected their titles migrated west. In the West, we were initiated back into the bloodlines of the originals. An example of this phenomenon is the Blackfoot Confederacy. Blackfoot was not a tribe, it was a confederacy. It was a bunch of tribes put together. And those that would be coming back from what was going on in the East, we were initiating back in. The Blackfoots. So, before we go any further, let's get back to the video because I don't want to, get too lost. Get your copy. We don't want to get too lost in the sauce. The full breakdown before we get off what the point of this video was making.
You're the person with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love. But did you know that you could go to jail simply for...
Here's the thing. this is stuff I've studied probably close to 15 years ago. So I don't remember a lot of my sources or who I learned it from, but I can give you a couple of names. What you got to do is you got to look up Shaka Akmos. You got to look up Dr. Kaba Kameen, Dr. Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett. Who else is a good Egyptologist? Shaka Akmos is a real good Egyptologist. I think you should start there with Shaka Akmos. But these are videos I used to watch and lectures I used to watch back in the day. Now I focus on like startups, and that's where my brain is. That's where my knowledge is focused on.
Right.
But a lot of this stuff comes from my own common sense.
Now, here's the problem with that. This is why he can't source it. This is why he gets frozen at 32 degrees and gets limited. Because he keeps talking about Egypt and Egyptologists and Egypt this. Let's go back to the Blue Bible, page 49. Okay. Napoleon could negotiate such contracts because of his occupation of Egypt. After defending the native Mamelukes, he named himself Ali Bonaparte and introduced the printing press to Egypt. This is the beginning of Egyptology. The story of Egypt is his story, not ours. Our story was given to Egypt and the Middle East by Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa made sure that the story of us traveling to the Americas, the ruler before him leaving and going to the Americas, and him going to the East to have it documented, was written down in Arabic. But we're too busy studying everything that's written down in Latin, in French, in Greek. When we're going to learn that Islam as a culture was used by us to unite our highest sciences, our highest history, our wealthiest empires, much greater than Egypt. Egypt had the best sorcery, had the best art. But Mali, Song.
So you see what's going on here, right? He basically broke down how Islam is the root of the secret societies and the crust. Now, this lady or guy, I don't know these days, what the fuck do you know? You know what I mean? But yeah, like I keep asking you, little sassy shawty, to stop giving me emotion. This is not the emotion sector, right? If you wanna argue, we can drop the lecture and the research, and we can just come up and trade insults, right? But you in the chat and you obviously talking to me, right? You're talking about Alex Haley. The presentation is saying that slavery didn't go how Alex Haley said it, right? So it's like you agreeing with him whole time, but then you disagreeing, right? So it's like if somebody say 2 + 2 is 32 and you say that's wrong, the next logical response is, well, what's the right answer? Right? And then when you get a right answer, like, well, how the fuck you get that? So when you get to talking about all this crazy, right? It's like, well, you must have done the research or you just giving your opinion. Because, you know, opinions like assholes, everybody got one. So who gives a fuck, right? You give your opinion on your shit, right? So my thing is, you agnostic. So that means your religion is knowledge. What nationality are you? You ducking that smoke. Are you a troglodyte? That's what we want to get to. So we can talk. You dig what I'm saying? Where do you? Your opinion is going to end up being tied to your nationality. I'm telling you right now. I look like the dude on the camera, right? I look like him. Who do you look like? Right? Who like? Because if you a troglodyte, it makes sense, right? If you one of us, then shame on you, right? You don't even have the coof or the decency to just let a motherfucker present their shit, and you could just state one time, I disagree. You spamming and spamming. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute when this shit over where we can have a conversation.
Okay, come on, man. But we're gonna keep, ignoring the truth in exchange for the lie because it feels better. Egypt this, Egypt that. Egypt is a lot of people infatuated with Egypt because it's in the Bible.
It just does not make sense logistically to take people from all the way from over there to bring them here, especially when half your stock is going to die when you got people right here. You have human resources right here. All I got to do is pop them, shoot a couple of them. The rest of them are like, all right, fine. And you enslave them. And none of them die except for the ones I actually killed, right? I got a whole millions of people right here. Like, why would I go all the way across the ocean to bring people back across the ocean? It just doesn't make sense. It's just stupid. Nobody run a business like that.
What's up, Jimmy?
Well, that's interesting, right? So for the people that feel like slavery didn't happen for 400 years the way they told it, he's giving you an alternate narrative, right? I don't want to say narratives if it ain't true. He's just giving you an alternate like presentation. Like his research says something different. You know what I mean? But that would explain a lot. You feel what I'm saying? Why we got coons and certain motherfuckers working with the establishment. Now the coon makes sense if it was people already here, and then somehow when the slavery shit did jump off, the black people had slaves too. So this is what I'm saying. Once a motherfucker Islamic, you can kind of toss that skin shit out the window. Once a motherfucker Islamic, it don't matter what, if you the next door neighbor or the next country, town, whatever, genetically, biologically, if you're the same, the Muslim niggas is that ain't what unify you. Right?
PBS, the title was how many slaves landed in the US?
Mm-hmm.
Well, scroll that up so I can read that whole thing.
Okay.
Right to there. Perhaps you, like me, were raised essentially to think of the slave experience primarily in terms of our black ancestors here in North America.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Involved in the shipping and going all over the world. It could be going anywhere.
But
right.
From Africa,
that's
correct?
less than 10%.
African shipped, yes.
Right. That's less than 10%.
Less that were sea-bearing that made it all the way over here.
Yes.
Well, if you only 388,000 actually made it to North America.
Yeah, this land.
I could trade from Haiti or Jamaica or South America.
Right.
So he said only 300,000 motherfuckers came from Africa. But you got like 7 million black people, 13 million or some crazy shit. Black people over here, like, the math ain't mathing.
So you think, right. So you think that there was probably already a significant population of Africans that were sea-bearing that made it all the way over here.
Yes.
Well, if you listen to the words of Hancock and the discussion.
From that current, he said the current go from West Africa down through the Caribbean and up, or some shit like that, up into the Americas. It's a current. He said you don't need no paddles, no engine, no nothing.
Of prehistoric, what we would consider prehistoric use of boats and ships, it's probably likely.
Like, look at ancient Egypt. Don't you see pictures of boats?
Oh yeah. So they would bury them. I mean, if you could, there was the what is the big science museum?
See, Sassy Queen, nobody's agreeing with Joe Rogan. Motherfuckers is really proving Joe Rogan, but this is my thing. Look, at least get a troglodyte some credit. Look how he responded. All that exclamation point and all that, like, you can disagree and still keep it classy, Queen. You yelling and screaming. I'm gonna drop the link for you though, because I like that energy, right? I ain't gonna block you and kick you off. I mean, don't flag me, don't block me, right? I'm gonna let you live. You can rock out, you can spam and you can cuss me out and do your thing. I'm gonna let you live because I'm here for the smoke. I'm here for that intellectual trade. I ain't gonna block you and ban you and all that. Keep it spicy.
In LA that had the Egypt exhibit really recently. It's fucking incredible. But they had a depiction of the boats that they used.
Yeah.
I mean, they had boats for sure.
They had boats.
Definitely traveled.
So how can you tell me that a civilization had boats before Europe was literate, didn't come to America, didn't set up shop? It's just not common. I mean, I don't need to read a book to understand that.
Well, it definitely makes sense if they made it to South America. I mean, if the Olmecs were, I mean, if you pull up an image of the Olmec heads, this is heavily disputed.
John Henry Clark is an author you should study. John Henry Clark has a book, They Come Before Columbus.
I mean, look at that. Look at these Olmec heads.
Yeah.
They all look like that.
Yeah, that's South America.
Yeah.
So
it's
if you have
amazing,
there has to be a large population of people in order to create these things. Right?
Yeah.
It has to be, they have to be advanced. So if they're here already in South America, why are you gonna go across the sea when you got people right here you can just enslave? South America is connected to America. You think we didn't come up north? You think we didn't take that walk?
Right.
It's just common sense.
Well, particularly when they're finding all this evidence of people that were here thousands and thousands of years before they ever thought people were.
Yeah. Oh, that.
See, this validates the argument between Moors and natives. On one hand, you were native. What my girl say? Sassy Queen. She said yes, and Joe Rogan has an asshole lying to him by committing omission throughout the whole story. Okay, we agree, right? I don't bang with Joe Rogan. I watched some of his guests because they be dropping jewels, but nobody, Joe Rogan. Nobody fucks with Joe Rogan. I don't fuck with Joe Rogan. Let me say that. What the Queen say? Joe is not lying. His Negro guest is lying by omission. Damn. So you mean to tell me so Joe Rogan telling the truth? Go look that word up. I'm telling you the truth. The Olmecs are pissed at the Negroes for trying to steal it. You trolling. Okay, you trolling now. I don't take you serious no more. You can't be Gnostic. Let me go back. You say you agnostic. You can't be agnostic. You can't be. Because you ain't. If you agnostic, give me the research. Give me the proper chronological. Give me the proper, duration of time and course of event. Like, give me something. Show me you agnostic. Show me you got the knowledge of a Gnostic. Because just opinion don't mean you Gnostic. What'd you say? What you? I mean, respect. You say you're not trolling. Respect. You know what I mean? I ain't. Because I'm just. I was being funny because I'm saying I just don't agree with your stance, right? So I was just being funny, like you trolling me. But I think the dude on Joe Rogan's show telling the truth. So let's maybe Joe Rogan call him out and say you lying by omission. Let's see what happens.
Evidence in the Grand Canyon from Egypt.
What? I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
what's that?
You heard about that?
Heard of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be some gold down there.
Ooh.
Is this
Egyptian gold in the Grand Canyon?
Hey.
Imagine if they found a fucking Egyptian tomb in the Grand Canyon.
There's Egyptian stuff that's been found in Ohio.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All
I was looking some stuff up, but my grandma was telling me. I went home and looked up the Serpent Mound stuff.
You listening, Queen? You listening? You hear what they said? Listen close.
And like right up the road from where the Serpent Mound is, there's been a couple artifacts found there, like 100 years ago.
So how's the Olmecs mad with the African or the Negroid, right? If you got other troglodytes who've done the research, Gnostic research, and said, yeah, it is evidence of Africans in America. I want to highlight somebody right quick. Y'all gotta go check this dude out right here. This dude right here, He should have 1 million subs. We got 73 subs. My last channel was shut down. Look at the research. Look at the title. Let's go to videos. The Grand Canyon before Egypt. Egypt, America is Egypt. America is Egypt. This is research, right? You a Gnostic, right? You got the hidden hand with the Native Americans in Egypt. Okay? America is Egypt. Race bait and switch. America is Egypt. White slaves, black pirates. Okay? Fake Egyptian. Do you see all these videos? This man doing real research. Y'all go subscribe. This is real research. Real research. Hour-long videos. America is Egypt. America is Egypt. This is real heavy-duty research. So this match what the black dude is saying on Joe Rogan, and you saying he lying by omission. Make it make sense.
And I'm telling you the mystery, my story. He can't source it. This is why he gets frozen at 32 degrees and gets limited. Because he keeps talking about Egypt and Egyptologists and Egypt and Egypt this. Let's go back to the Blue Bible, page 49. Okay. Napoleon could negotiate such contracts because of his occupation of Egypt. After defending the native Mamelukes, he named himself Ali Bonaparte and introduced the printing press to Egypt. This is the beginning of Egyptology. The story of Egypt is his story, not ours. Our story was given to Egypt and the Middle East by Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa made sure that the story of us traveling to the Americas, the ruler before him leaving and going to the Americas, and him going to the East to have it documented, was written down in Arabic. But we're too busy studying everything that's written down in Latin and French and Greek.
What you say to that, Queen? Where you at, Queen? Okay, I must study these subjects. Oh, you a new age. Oh, okay, numerology, gematria. What you a Kabbalist? You Ashkenazi? You got all these words. What's your ethnicity? Sassy? You talking language and etymology, right? Esoteric, right? Are you outrage negative? Are you wild man? Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon? What are you? That's what we want to know. That's what the fans want to know.
When we going to learn that Islam as a culture was used by us to unite our highest sciences, our highest, and identify as white? They eventually settled in the Appalachian Mountains where they became hillbillies.
Listen up, Sassy.
Just like Egypt is the area around the north of the Nile River in Africa, settlers named South Illinois Little Egypt, the area around the north of the Mississippi River in America. From here,
you know about the Ben Ishmael tribe, Sassy? Ben Ishmael tribe? Talk to me about the Ben Ishmael tribe. Talk to me.
Here, the camel originated 2 million years ago. It traveled and developed 2 humps on its way to the Nile River. In the past, the river was surrounded by pyramids. The masons responsible for said pyramids, mounds, wore the family name Washita. Their capital was Poverty Point, Louisiana. Their family built pyramids called mountains all throughout the Americas, from Peru to Canada. His story attempts to erase the legacy of the Washita by calling their kings chiefs and their nations tribes. The name itself was replaced with the surnames Washington and the title Choctaw. The United States teaches that its first president, George Washington, gave the name to our ancestors by way of slavery. This is a dangerous lie used to detach the original people from their own land. We are denied our birthrights by way of this sort of technology and paper genocide. The truth is, George Washington paid large sums of money to the Berber rulers of North Africa for the privilege to form the United States of Almoraka. Reference, the U.S. Tripoli Treaty, 1796, November 4th, the receipt. The Pilgrims married into our tribes and accepted our names. Genetically, this changed our appearance, and politically, it changed our way of life. War became prevalent amongst the white immigrants and black natives of North America whenever we mixed. Another popular lie is that all people labeled Negro in the U.S. were descendants of African slaves. In actuality, 66.6% of the Caucasians imported by the Freemasons to create the United States were slaves from Africa. In Europe, they had no land, property, or birthrights. When they arrived in America, they were taught to speak English, practice Christianity, and identify as white. They eventually settled in the Appalachian Mountains, where they became hillbillies. They adopted the flag and ways of the original people, at which point they earned the name redneck, and they inherited our Confederate flag. They are descendants of a slave people. To support my story of white slavery, I reference his stories. Robert C. Davis, Christian Slaves, Muslim Masters, White Slaves in the Mediterranean, Barbary Coast in Italy, 1500, 1800. And Richard Hayes Phillips, White Slave Children in Colonial America, supplement to the trilogy. At the same time, 85% of the people labeled Negro by the United States had land, property, and birthrights when the English arrived. Only 10% of our ancestors were African slaves. As a whole, we are collectively Creole. All of this has been lost to the racist practice of eugenics. The first people labeled white married into the nations of North America and enslaved their own children. The plantations they built were sex farms, breeding grounds where they used eugenics to create slaves. This was their way of civilizing people. All nations that refused to be civilized were labeled Negro. The lands of the so-called Negroes were given away after the Civil War to create the New World Order. Daniel Freeman was the first member of the white nation to claim 160 acres of our land by way of the Homestead Act of 1862. This was after Abraham Lincoln attempted to deport our people out of America. Our names were given away after the Dow-Rose Act in 1892. The U.S. hired the Dow's Commission to create nations on paper for it to pay instead of paying reparations to its enemies. The Dow's Commission charged $5 for any Caucasian family to purchase membership in a so-called Indian tribe and receive birthrights. They also excluded all people they deemed Negro from Indian tribes that were now controlled by $5 Indians. Many of my peers and allies have or had grandparents that knew their nationality and tribe. Cite House Resolution 2761.
See, this sounds like research to me. This sounds like research to me, but this is my thing. The Anglo-Saxon like to change history. The Ashkenazi like to change history, right? That's a characteristic that's on your resume as a nationality or ethnicity as people, right? Line and change. The Ashkenazi, do your research. They go around swapping cultures with people, right? What'd you say? Freemasons are a collective of people, not just a certain tribe. Lord have mercy. That's not what was being said, child. Okay? Now, if you really knew your Freemasonry, where they get it from? Is Egypt older than England? Is Egypt older than Scotland? Is Egypt older than York, right? What do you say? Sorry, anyone can write a book these days making a lot of baseless claims. Can you give me some research? Can you give me more? I need more. These in general statements ain't cutting it for me. Right? You got to cite a source. You got to give me some, but all caps and exclamation points, you coming from emotion. You triggered. But you don't want to say where you're from. You got all these statements, but I can't examine. See how he talking about his people and the people that's not his. Which one are your people? So we can get a better understanding of your perspective. Because if you Tamahu, if you Flugelrod, if you Troglodyte, it all makes sense, right? If you native to America or you from Africa, what you saying is preposterous. So who are you? We know what you are. You an agnostic that ain't doing no research, that ain't done doing. I ain't gonna say you ain't doing no research. You're not done doing your research, right? You in the middle of class. You ain't well in advance, in your studies. But the people you arguing against, citing sources, citing books, you got 2 or 3 other people coinciding the stance. So it's like, give me something. I need more. Let's go back to the research though.
June 8th, 2009, 111th Congress.
See how he giving you dates and times and names, and you come on, man. This is a real Gnostic motherfucker right here. This is a real motherfucker that's Islamic into Gnostic teaching. So that's 2 fields covered. You just agnostic, and you ain't even got a good grasp on it yet. Because you sound like you giving all the credit to the cracker. And anybody into Gnostic and research and knowledge and esoteric know the like, stop it. Robert Zephyr has been debunked. Even if you want to talk that out of Africa shit, fuck it, talk to Africa. You either got the Asiatic or the native to America. Europe is not an independent continent. It's connected to Asia. Do you understand? What this man talking about is from Canada down to South America and the Caribbean. And we talking about a whole nother continent along with it. It sounds like you just talking about Europe. What the fuck they done did if it wasn't for Egypt?
First session in House Resolution 1514, March 5th, 2019, 116th Congress. First session. That's facts on top of facts. Stop playing with us. So let's go into this then. Let's look at the other side of it. Let's look at the slave side of it. Right here is Isaac Franklin. Franklin and Armfield joked with each other in coded letters about the enslaved women they were, assaulting. They each had children with women they had enslaved and sold their children. This is what I just said. They joined, people of the white nation would join our nations, marry in, have children, enslave their own children. This is how they would get the slavery started within our.
Oh, this looking like your pot, Queen. Hold on, what'd you say? Let's see what they say. You said Freemasons take anyone who believe in God. Okay, you ain't said nothing slick. We know that. What do you mean by that? What the truth had to do with skin color, because a certain group of people of a certain skin color known for lying worldwide. Stop what you doing. Stop what you doing. The cracker be lying. That's why. So tell me some cracker lies. Tell me where England lied. Tell me where the Scots lied. Tell me where the Romans and the Italians lied. If you a Gnostic and you send everybody, lies, and what did the cracker do wrong? Tell me something the cracker did wrong in your research. They were sitting like little burbs that they can manipulate you with. Okay, I guess. What definition of the word Africa? Bruh, the landmass we referring to as Africa. See, stop playing semantics, right? You trying to get me into an anti-Semitic. And no, don't play semantics with me. I'm referring to a continent when I say Africa. We know the real name, Kemet, Kush, all that good stuff. We know that. Negro land. We know all that. We just, for the sake of conversation. Come on now. I thought you was Gnostic. Oh, Lord. The definition of the word Africa, the land mass that we know today as Africa, that's the definition of it. And the people indigenous to it look what? Do they look European? I'd rather an intellectual queen than who the fuck wants sassy? Who wants that? Your kids don't like your sassy ass. Your man ain't gonna like your sassy ass. You can't do that sassy shit at work. You can't do that sassy shit in the street or somebody gonna get with you. Who the fuck likes sassy? You tell me the definition of Africa. Oh my God. We're just gonna leave that up there because I think you made a few kind of remedial remarks, and this is one of them. So give me some educated behind it. You ain't giving me none. Murphy, oh, you'll get that information up. What nationality are you? We don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear what group you with. Right? You know how when you buzz into your office building, they got to know what floor and what company you work for, who you with. Who you with? I don't really believe that 35 years shit, because who the fuck gonna stay married for 35 years to something sassy? And if you have been married for 35 years, you don't respect that man to take on the sassy persona. You out here representing your husband sassy on the internet. So when they see him at work at the water cooler, who was that sassy motherfucking bitch? That bitch sassy as shit. Oh, that's my wife. Wow. She embarrassing you with that sass. Do you sass him? Do you sass him? Change the name. The name is just, nobody likes the name. Oh, Lord. So who is indigenous to this girl? Lord have mercy. Let's see what some actual research say.
Tribes. The firm owned 6 ships, including one called Isaac Franklin. They were outfitted to take enslaved men, women, and children from Alexandria coastwise to the deep south. The ships returned with cargoes of sugar, molasses, whiskey, and cotton. Based in Alexandria, Virginia, Isaac Franklin and John Ornfield were the largest traders of enslaved African Americans in the nation between 1828 and 1836. The man bought enslaved people at low prices in upper South and sold them at much higher prices in lower South. See, from America to America. Why would they go way across the water to get people when they were taking people from north to the south, or from one part of the south to the other part of the south?
So this is the type shit why I'm saying you ain't saying nothing slick, little princess, right? Because you got dates, you got names, you got the government backing. I mean, fuck the government, but it's a sorted site. It's a site. I mean, a source cited at the least, right? What you got? Let me see what you got. Oh Lord. So let me guess. You married some old dude for money, right? Go ask him, do he like your sassy ways? Because, I mean, he probably don't want to divorce you. If you a sassy motherfucker, you going to run off with half the money. You going to get sassy in court. So he probably like, fuck it, I can't even leave this sassy motherfucker. But ask him, did his mama raise him to go get a sassy mouth motherfucker? Go ask him. Call him, text him, leave your computer. Go ask your husband, did his mama and daddy raise him to want a sassy? I wonder how his mama and daddy feel about you treating him sassy. How they feel about that? Because I'm going to tell you, if I was a mother and you were sassy to my son, I'd smack the tracks out of your troglodyte fur. You hear me? I'd smack the mustache off you, shawty. Be sassy to mine, right? If I was a woman and I done raised this boy to make it to retirement age, And along the way, 35 years along the way, you walking around sassing, don't invite me to Christmas. Because we going to move the furniture. You're not going to sass mine. He can't hit you. Big Mama will hit you. So you must be a cracker. Let's keep it funky. You must be a cracker. Because ain't no way Big Mama was going. Let me see. He loves my sex. Yeah, his mother just died a week ago. Shame on you. Shame on you. This lady just died and you out here being sassy. Shame on you. Shame. You an embarrassment, man. Be classy. That lady done passed. Your mother done passed and you out here being sassy. Ungrateful. Girl.
It was illegal anyway. Come on, man. Peace is real. Like you said, all right and exact. So nobody called in so far. But it's good. I still got the good food for y'all. See, food is the knowledge you take in here. It's mental food. But as far as physical food, we're going to the same problem. We're eating so much fake food that even when we try to eat healthy, we're eating just better versions of fake food. So tap in with me if you want to really give your body some relief and some health and some love. Let me show y'all what we're working with. I'm on my way right now to the post office. I gotta send Will here.
Oh Lord, them boys. All right, let me get y'all, well, you know what? I ain't even gonna take y'all too much further into that. I'm gonna say that for like a part 2 or something. Maybe we'll do some quick little rundown on Mansa Musa, and we'll come back to now, mind you, little rich baby girl, little sassy queen baby girl. This the richest person in history. So this is why I'm saying this is the origins of the Black Illuminati. This the richest person in history, and he sent the Native Americans here from West Africa, Mali.
If someone asked you who the richest people in history were, who would you name? Perhaps a billionaire banker or corporate mogul like Bill Gates or John D. Rockefeller. How about African King Musa Kita?
See how Rockefeller ain't even on his level. Rockefeller not even on his level.
the First. Ruling the Mali Empire in the 14th century CE, Mansa Musa, or the King of Kings, amassed a fortune that possibly made him one of the wealthiest people who ever lived. But his vast wealth was only one piece of his rich legacy. When Mansa Musa came to power in 1312, much of Europe was racked by famine and civil wars. But
You hear that?
Much of Europe was racked by famine and civil wars. But many African kingdoms and the Islamic world were flourishing.
Are you listening? Let me see what she's talking about, because you need to hear this. Oh, we got all praise to the Most High. Let me see. I'll let you fight back. Intelligent woman must be attractive. Girl, no, you're not intelligent. You've been wrong. So look, anybody in the chat, if you ever watching this video, whether current, live, or later, go through her shit and tell me. Let's let the people decide. I ain't gonna say you wrong. I don't agree with you. I ain't gonna say you wrong. I don't agree with you. Let the people determine who is intelligent and who ain't. But I'll give my vote. You're not intelligent. So let's see. All praise the Most High. All praise the Most High. The word Africa refers to anything related to the African continent. It's people, culture, geography. It can be used both as an adjective and a noun. Thank you. So when you spamming this shit right here, like what you doing? Like you couldn't get a basic intelligent, quote unquote. You couldn't figure that out. Geographical, cultural, people native. Like, come on. Where you at? Yeah, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Look what she's saying. Look what she's saying. Mansa Musa was a white. Stop looking for revolutionist history to shoot your agenda. Okay, well, look, I'm going to tell you, Mansa Musa was a black man. Stop looking for whitewash history to suit your agenda. Right? Yeah, I don't think you're intelligent. I don't. I don't think you've demonstrated that. You've demonstrated that. It took the most simple. A motherfucker had to break it down like you was a real live junior high school, elementary kid when you ask rhetorical, sassy ass questions like this. What's your definition? It ain't my fucking definition. It's the. What'd you say? I said you did not know the minute. Girl, let's get back to the knowledge. Cause you from Europe. Let's listen to your people.
If someone asked you who the richest people in history were, who would you name? Perhaps a billionaire banker or corporate mogul like Bill Gates or John D. Rockefeller. How about African king Musa Kita I? Ruling the Mali Empire in the 14th century CE, Mansa Musa, or the King of Kings, amassed a fortune that possibly made him one of the wealthiest people who ever lived. But his vast wealth was only one piece of his rich legacy. When Mansa Musa came to power in 1312, much of Europe was racked by famine and civil wars. But many African kingdoms and the Islamic world were flourishing, and Mansa Musa played a great role in bringing the fruits of this flourishing to his own realm. By strategically annexing the city of Timbuktu and reestablishing...
Like, think about it. They just said Timbuktu. If Mansa Musa was white, you fucking dunce. Wouldn't it have been Rome? And don't y'all get the credit for Rome? Wouldn't he put Timbuktu, the most knowledgeable library? Because you motherfuckers ain't do nothing but ransack the Library of Alexandria and run it back up there to the Vatican. Troglodyte, inbred.
Establishing power over the city of Gaul, he gained control over important trade routes between the Mediterranean and the West African coast, continuing a period of expansion.
See how I was pointing out? Hold on, let's click on this because they breaking it down real simple. You see how the arrows was pointing out, right? Showing that these people probably came to America on that current. Hold on, I'm gonna unmute
in natural resources, annexing the city of Timbuktu and reestablishing power over the city of Gaul. He gained control over important trade routes between the Mediterranean and the West African coast, continuing a period of expansion which dramatically increased Mali's size. The territory of the Mali Empire was rich in natural resources, such as gold and salt. The world first witnessed the extent of Mansa Musa's wealth in 1324, when he took his pilgrimage to Mecca. Not one to travel on a budget, he brought a caravan stretching as far as the eye could see. Accounts of this journey are mostly based on an oral testimony and differing written records, so it's difficult to determine the exact details. But what most agree on is the extravagant scale of the excursion. Chroniclers describe an entourage of tens of thousands of soldiers, civilians, and slaves, 500 heralds, bearing gold staffs and dressed in fine silks.
See how they had the slaves, right? Who were these slaves? Are they white slaves? Like, what's going on?
And many camels and horses bearing an abundance of gold bars. Stopping in cities such as Cairo, Mansa Musa is said to have spent massive quantities of gold, giving to the poor, buying souvenirs, and even having mosques built along the way. In fact, his spending may have destabilized the regional economy, causing mass inflation. This journey reportedly took over a year, and by the time Mansa Musa returned, tales of his amazing wealth had spread to the ports of the Mediterranean. Mali and its king were elevated to near legendary status, cemented by their inclusion on the 1375 Catalan Atlas. One of the most important world maps of medieval Europe, it depicted the king holding a scepter and a gleaming gold nugget.
My thing is, this is that new age shit, because you see he got the scepter, but he got his legs crossed. In that yoga invocation of Baphomet.
Musa had literally put his empire and himself on the map. But material riches weren't the king's only concern. As a devout Muslim, he took a particular interest in Timbuktu, already a center of religion and learning prior to its annexation. Upon returning from his pilgrimage, he had the great Djinguereber Mosque built there with the help of an Andalusian architect. He also established a major university, further elevating the city's reputation and attracting scholars and students from all over the Islam.
See, they ain't going. See that I'm saying? Ain't no Islam up there in Europe. You talking that troglodyte shit? Even other troglodytes telling you this what it is. You think everybody research leading them wrong, and your opinion is right?
Under Mansa Musa, the empire became urbanized, with schools and mosques in hundreds of densely populated towns. The king's rich legacy persisted for generations, and to this day, there are mausoleums, libraries, and mosques that stand as a testament to this golden age of Mali's history.
Well, let's see. Any Freemasonry? Let's see. Come on, get them out of here. The dark side of Mansa Musa. The greatest slave owner. Look at Robert Zephyr. I told you, Robert Zephyr has been debunked. You done put him as a white man. Boy, get Robert Zephyr out of here. Come on, the BBC even saying that this is the British broadcast. And they even saying the man was black. Like, you and Robert Zephyr. Oh, look, Robert Zephyr again. They got 2 million views.
When you think of billionaires, you probably think of the people who are on the TV all the time, the barons of industry and kings of tech.
They're saying the same thing. Afro-Asiatic. I ain't even gonna get into that right now. See how he collapsed Egypt's economy. Y'all see where Mali at, Morocco, and all that. So I don't see nothing on the Freemason. Let's see if we got any occult ties. Robert Zephyr, the only one saying he was white. Oh.
Woo! It is I, King Genesis, and this has been another Black Indigenous Studies. Today we're going to get into the fact that is Mansa Musa white or black? Of course, we know that Mansa Musa was a black man. But from looking at my guy Tariq's Nasheed page, I noticed he made a video saying how he saw Mansa Musa depicted as a white man in a school textbook. And I would have to say that this is very racist. This is very racist to whitewash black greatness. Of course, we all know that Mansa Musa was and is the richest man to ever walk the earth. Can't no one debunk that. But now we must jump on Eurocentric delusions as soon as they come, because they will whitewash our West African kings and emperors the same as they have whitewashed Egypt. And we must not let that happen. I like to think of myself as the defender of the ancestors. Sakim Genesis, defender of the ancestors. So today we are going to just state a couple of known facts about Mansa Musa. Of course, we know that Mansa Musa was the emperor of Mali. He was born in Mali. So with that being said, he is indigenous to West Africa. With looking on the skin chart, you can clearly see that West Africans are chocolate complected people. I repeat, from looking at this skin chart, you can clearly see that West Africans are chocolate complected people. Also, a known fact about the 1300s is that West Africa was not colonized. In fact, they were at the peak of their civilization. All of the gold coming out of West Africa. West Africa was doing great. I repeat, there was no colonization in West Africa in the 1300s. Okay. In the British Museum, there is a map of Mansa Musa when he made his pilgrimage to Mecca that depicts Mansa Musa as a black man with a beard. I repeat, there is a map in the British Museum that was made in the 1300s. It shows the likeness. Woo! It is I, Sakim Genesis, and this has been another Black Indigenous Studies. Today we're going to get into the fact that
so we learned that. I ain't fucking with Robert 7. We got the most dangerous book. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research. But I mean, I think, we kind of got a grasp of how the richest man in the world sent some people over here off the current, right? That, and when what we know or think of slavery, they was right there with it. They had slaves too. So let's see what they're talking about. This most dangerous.
Today I'm going to tell you about what's often regarded as the most dangerous book in the world, Shams al-Ma'arif, a topic requested by you guys on my Discord. The Shams al-Ma'arif is a book written in the 13th century by an individual named Ahmed bin al-Buni. There is some debate over whether he actually wrote it or whether this is a compilation of different things put together and attributed to him. The book is essentially a manual on black magic. It's a manual on casting spells and performing certain rituals. But perhaps most worryingly, it talks about how you can talk to jinn, how you can enter the world of jinn and even marry a jinn. Jinn are essentially beings in Islam and Arabian folklore that reside in their own world but slip into ours as well. Their nature is unpredictable, and so they can be incredibly dangerous. Join my Discord to suggest more content. For Discord, check the pinned video. Today I'm going to tell you about what's often regarded as the most...
I think we just gonna end it right there. Maybe we'll pick up on that. Look at how the fuck you gonna put the West African Mali Empire that wasn't colonized, cold-blooded, pale-face. Robert Zephyr, man, I exposed him as a white supremacist. Y'all go check that video out. Oh, Jesus wasn't rented. Yeah, we just gonna crack it up right here. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Sassy Queen still talking crazy. The British Museum. I ain't said nothing about the Ashkenazi or nothing. So, what'd you say? Everybody stating opinion. Everybody lying except for you, right? You really sitting here saying Mansa Musa from was white. I think, yeah, we might as well get on out of here because she talking crazy. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments, man. Black nobility is just that, coming from the richest person ever. Fuck that Rothschild, Rockefeller bullshit. He got more money than them. He been, there's black secret societies before that. But let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Share the video. Shout out Sassy Queen. That was fun. I'm out.